it depends on the rootstock and how it looks, but it's always going to look a little different. But these tend to have a little bit more of that red color in them. Okay, they also won't set fruit. Here's another shoot, but this is similar in look to this, so we're good with that one. And also, if you look at the location, it is above the graft. Okay, but again, I got a lot of gnarly stuff here growing on that graft. So we're in a frustrating area. Okay, so we're gonna walk up the hill so I can feel better. Height of an interval with the right amount of chemicals I needed, that disease will kind of start flaring up, and that's what's happened here. I still got some crop, but it's not as much as I would have had. But also we laid out a new cane here, and the idea with this is that you can see the new shoots have come off of that. As we get into some of the older wood, it gets a little thicker and jumblier, and this can be more of a mess. It may have more fruit, but you know, we're going to open this up a little bit, pull some leaves, and get that airflow in there, okay, and sunshine. So that's where we're at. I'll pull off. Here's a good one where you see how that was. Remember we showed before the shoot tip looked a lot stronger. This one's pretty small. Okay, it's basically shut down, but it's hanging on two big clusters of grapes. Those would never get ripe. Okay, so it's important to pull that off, or if I really wanted that position, I may pull the fruit off to let that grow up, and then next year I've got some good buds there. Okay?
Got it.
Cool. So that was a really quick, heavy thing. We'll show a little bit more. So you definitely want to keep the diseases under control and hopefully away. You don't want to wait. When you're dealing with the funguses here in Virginia, you don't wait until you see them. You've got to be proactive. So there's a regular spraying program that we try to do as best we can, weekly, sometimes a little bit more spread out if the weather's drier, sometimes closer if we're getting a lot of rain. Those sprays are kind of getting washed off and getting overwhelmed by the pressure. So you got to get out there sometimes every 4 or 5 days and fill in those gaps. Sometimes there's nothing up here and you're coming down from the base. You might as well, you don't want to leave dead wood out.
Is that an older cut? These are more recently cut.
These would have been this year. That might have been that one right here.
That cut down there.
Yeah, this one down here. That might have been the year before.
Okay.
I'm not really sure.
Okay.
But you know, those are some of the things as you get into these older vineyards, you're going to see a lot of that cut back. Also, what we're going to look at, here's a good one where I want to be able to see the fruit. Okay, so this time of year is always a good time to open it up a little bit, pull some leaves. Okay, you can kind of hear the pop. That's what we're looking for. I don't want to strip it clean. You like to have what we call a little bit of sombrero to give it a little bit of shade. But this will help with the airflow. So that, and we do the east side, which is so that's east, west. So that morning sun, when it comes in, it'll dry any of the dew that was there, and it'll make it a lot more higher quality, keep the diseases off. And then one of the things that I'll look for is, like here, this is called a lateral. Okay, so you can see how the shoot's coming up, but then it's created another shoot, and that'll just kind of really jumble things up. So the more you can eliminate those laterals, the better in your fruit zone, the better fruit zone, the more managed you're going to have it. And the spur is actually pretty big and high. I like that this one is here, so next year I would cut off this long one and just leave this short one here, and get back to the main wood.
Right.
Okay, so that's one of those steps. Again, I'm kind of shifting gears a little bit. That's a winter pruning project, but the idea is you want to kind of keep your wood, your shoots right as close to that older wood as you can and maintain that zone. Once you see how high this has pushed this fruit, okay, all the way up into here. So it's better to have it all in one area, especially when you're putting the netting down and things like that. You can see how it's pushing out here. I've got a chemical that we're going to try and use this year and see if that'll help control that. I don't know. I haven't used it in the past. I had somebody else who has, one of my old interns, and we'll see if it helps get the flow back.